Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another pre-market live stream today, where we talk about Epstein not killing himself. Just kidding. But no, seriously, he didn't kill himself. We all know that. Alrighty. Good stuff. Good morning. All right, so we'll wait a couple minutes here until some people start strolling in. Lost one, good morning. William, good morning. Everybody, good morning. We're going to talk about Roku today, Alibaba, and MTCH. Those are kind of the three. Oh, and AMD. Yeah, 3 or 4 stocks that I like the most out of today that we'll be paying attention to pretty closely. Also, Roku reports after hours today. Square reports after hours. And there's another one that I can't remember that I was going to watch. So a couple decent reports that are going to go on after hours today that I might stick around and trade. Not quite sure. Maybe. All right. Good morning, everybody. So first one, might as well just talk about is Roku. So if you don't already know, over the past, the other day, Roku got pressed down really strong. Yesterday, it got pressed down again, was actually opened to short yesterday on this too, played that. So it went down again. It did a double bottom kind of bounce. Now we're kind of trailing off again. The ultimate goal for anybody short bias the stock, which I'm also short bias, would be to see it break down through these support levels and continue going. So today we'll be following Roku for a short play. Looking for a move at least down to the previous day's low, and then hopefully for a breakdown below that low for it to continue moving lower. That would be the ultimate goal. What's more likely to happen would probably be a short move down to the support level, then it bounces, then it does something random, and then who knows what happens. So the ideal play is for a move down to low a day and then a breakdown below low a day, and then it trends lower, then it snaps and has an ultimately really bearish day where you can make a lot of money. That's the main goal. What's most likely to happen would probably be a move down to support, and then it bounces and does something weird. But if it truly wants to break down, it will go through that support of yesterday and continue cruising. So that's what we want, okay? Next one we can talk about is AMD. AMD hit 37 yesterday. Then it basically crashed intraday. Today, may or may not actually short it. I'm kind of following it short, but at the same time, I don't necessarily think it's going to just ultimately fall into a great short play. So AMD has been cruising up for quite some time. It's pulled back a few times, but we haven't had a correctional move, which is what you'd be wanting for a short play. What does a correctional move look like? That's what a correctional move looks like. Top, down, breakdown, right? Up, breakdown, right? Up, breakdown. Those are kind of correctional moves, whereas something like, there's no good example of just a small pullback though, so never mind. So yeah, there is, right? So look at that's a correctional move, up, down, right? Whereas these are just pullbacks, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Those are pullbacks. Now we're kind of looking for a correctional move. Granted, we did break the 52-week high with authority. So unless AMD truly wants to break down, it should stay over this level here. So I can delete some of these off, re-put it on, do that. Yeah, so unless AMD truly wants to come down, it's going to stay over 35.53. So for me, it's more about watching it short down to 35.50, see how it reacts there. And if it wants to break down 35.50, then maybe the short play will be even better. But so for now, kind of on like a standby, but open mind to the fact that AMD might be sort of starting a topping formation with the way it crashed late day yesterday. Okay. So paying attention to that today to see if it starts rejecting around the 37 level for some short plays. All right. Alrighty. Next one on the list is BABA. BA. So watching BABA for a breakout today. Again, we didn't break out yesterday. We were rejected yesterday. We're even closer to breaking out today. So we'll be watching BABA to break out. Pretty much the pattern is there, right? So if you look at BABA, here we just draw a random trend line, or let's go from here and up. Sure. All right, there we go. Finally, thinkorswim working. So if you look at it like that, you can kind of see there is a symmetrical triangle going up. We've topped, we've topped, we've topped. We're at it again. If we can get up over the high here of 183.20, there's a good chance that we do have a bullish move breaking out to the upside. The only reason I don't like it that much, the setup that we're in, is because if we kind of shrink this down a little bit, you're going to see there's another level here at 184.30. Well, what is that? Well, if we go to the daily chart, there is a previous top right here at 180. That's not even correct. It's actually lower than that. It's at 184.17, I think. Yeah, I think 184.17. There's more resistance. So in reality, even if we were to break out of 183.20, we have resistance right at about 184 from the previous top, which typically would be much stronger resistance than what we're seeing here. So again, questionable whether or not we're going to get a full-on breaking out running day. And then also the market didn't perform very well yesterday. There's no guarantee that it's going to perform well today. And so if it doesn't perform that well today, the likelihood that we have an absolutely ripping day on BABA just makes it even less likely. But it's still worth watching because the setup is pretty clean. So we'll be watching BABA long, breakout over 183.20, has resistance right after that at about 184.17. And if the market doesn't have a really, really strong running day, the likelihood BABA breaks 184.17 and continues running, less likely. All right, next one on the list is going to be MTCH. So we'll briefly talk about this. MTCH is Match.com. You can see they got smoked. Then they bounced up. Simply just watching it. There is no formation on the stock yet. There is nothing there. I'm just simply telling you to watch it because these earnings plays can have decent squeezes. They can have decent breakdowns, but more or less right now there is no true symmetrical setup. You're just going to have to follow this one and play this one by ear as market opens with intraday, maybe 1 or 5 minute candle setups, which tends to be pretty hard for some people. I like it. Either way, MTCH from 72 down to 56, that creates volatility. We will watch this to see if it has additional moves up and or down to play those intraday on those setups. Okay, and those are pretty much all the main stocks that I'm going to be watching for today. All right, AGRX. Wow. Yep, AGRX did have a good move. We put that, we talked about it a couple days ago, then we put it on our watch list that we send out to everybody every single morning. That worked well. I didn't trade it. I didn't really care to trade it myself. Just wasn't a big enough ripping penny stock for me to want to trade. QCOM, yeah, QCOM report. Yeah, QCOM. You're right. That's the earnings report I was talking about. I think if that's what you're referring. Yep. How do you handle multiple consecutive red days? Do you stop trading then resume? How do you handle multiple consecutive green days? Do you stop trading because you're green? No, you'd keep trading. How do you handle them? Some people do it with the bottle. Some people do it by hanging out with friends. Some people eat. Some people watch TV. Some people study. Some people learn more. Some people review. It really just depends on who you are and what you like to do. Some people work out. What do I do? I don't know. I just live life as I normally would. I work out, eat, review some of the trades that I did that were bad, and doesn't take me long to realize what I've done wrong in a trade. Normally, if I'm going to be red on the day, it's normally going to, it's pretty simple. If you're going to be red on the day, maybe not simple for all, but simple for me. If I'm going to be red on the day, it's because I sucked. It's plain and simple. I just didn't do well. It's pretty straightforward. And when you say you sucked, there could be multiple things that you've done wrong. No, there's really only one thing you did wrong. You bought something and were wrong. You were trying to make money because it was either going up or going down, but ultimately you're just wrong. That was it. Your entry was wrong. More oftentimes than not, if you're going to be red on something, your entry was incorrect. It's always the entry. And so, a lot of people talk about risk management being so important, which it is. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is entry. Because if your entry is right, then you're pretty much never going to have to worry about being wrong, which means you're never really going to have to worry about what you're going to lose, which means your risk management should fall second to entry. So to me, entry is always the most important because if you're entering a trade correctly, chances are you're not going to see pretty much any downside and you're pretty much just going to go run right into an instant winning trade if your entry is correct. So if I'm ever red on the day or red on a trade, it's because I simply bought the wrong entry like an idiot. Whether that could have been from not being patient, not getting enough sleep, there could be numerous reasons behind the main reason, which is your entry is wrong. So what do you do with multiple consecutive red days? Study, find out what you're doing wrong, and try not to do it again. If you're failing to, if you just keep doing the same mistake over and over and over and over and over and over and over, you're not drilling it into yourself hard enough. So that's what I would do. SESN, I looked at it earlier, didn't really care for it. So that's why it's not on the watch list. Yeah, I don't care for that. Low volume stock, barcoding stock, I wouldn't trade it. What's your opinion? Oh, I just read that. NIO had news yesterday. Well, NIO had news, I think, the previous day, but maybe it was yesterday. So, yeah, you could watch this. I seen this going up. I chose not to trade it again. I'm not really a fan of NIO. So not that this wasn't a good move. That was a good move. It's just not something I really care to trade because at the end of the day, it's still like a barcode. You can see it's still a barcoding stock, which I don't like. I don't like to trade those. And again, not that it's not a good move. It was a good move. But meanwhile, while you got a bunch of people in here battling, right? Let's look at this. So from the absolute low of the day here on NIO, that was 180 to 224. So at most, for the most perfect entry, which probably wouldn't have happened, to the most perfect exit there at that top at that moment, it did go higher the day, but in this whole move, that was a total of 44 cents. I could make 44 cents on a trade with Netflix without the stock even hardly moving at all. I could almost make Netflix. I could almost make 44 cents a share on Netflix just by buying the bid and selling the ask without the stock even moving. By buying the bid and selling the ask at the right time on Netflix, you could probably make 30 cents per share just through the spread. So while you're battling for 40 cents all day long, I could be getting 40 cents on Netflix with just this move from like here to there, right? So that's the way I'm thinking about it, right? So when I look at something like this, do I want to trade that? No, not really, because again, that's only 40 cents for that whole move where I can get $3 on Netflix in 6 candles, right? So 6 candles here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 candles was not even 10 cents, whereas 6 candles on Netflix could be $3 per share. So that's the way I look at it. So again, not that this isn't a good move, it's just not a penny stock that I want to focus attention on to trade because it's not providing enough opportunity for me to shift out of trading something like Netflix. If NIO was providing $3 to $4 per share swing potential on the day, then yeah, I would probably be trading it because it's offering the same type of volatility and swinging, monetary swings as Netflix. But since it's not, there's really no point for me to trade it, the way I see it. Good morning. Granted, yes, you could take more shares on NIO, so you could leverage up and make more money because you're risking more. That's a no-brainer. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing. All right. Let's see. Good morning. Morning. What's a good laptop to use for trading? Any laptop you can use for trading. It just really comes down to speed. So again, I'm not some computer genius, but pretty much anything that you spend like $1,000 over on a computer should be able to handle a trading software pretty well. Oh yeah, NXTC, didn't trade that. I would pretty much tell everybody to avoid the stock NXTC. I seen it popping up. It had zero news on Thinkorswim for me. I couldn't find any news on it, which was fine. Yeah. There was no news on it. The thing went from 23 to 109. So that is some extreme volatility. And the reason I didn't trade it is because the spread was like $3, $4, $5. And so to me, it just didn't seem worth it to risk trading something like this yesterday. Every once in a while, you look back and go, man, I really should have just at least taken a bite at it, which would have been fine. But again, that's just not something I'm really into. I don't want to have to sit there with high stress trades like such. There wasn't really that much volume. I mean, if you look at it here, there's no volume, no volume, no volume. Still, really, no volume, no volume, no volume. Still, really not that much volume for how big of the moves it's making. So it was one of those ones where you just pass because you know that you really just don't care to trade it. What about Apple? All right, I will take a look at Apple. AAPL. Yeah, so Apple didn't really perform all that well yesterday. We said watch it long, which it tried to go long, but again, the market wasn't really favoring the long move yesterday, so we had more of a stagnant day. Same outlook, I'd still be long bias on Apple for the time being until the market either rolls over or Apple rolls over. So pretty straightforward. You got a top here at 258. That's where you're going to want to be long for the next play is over that 258 mark, 258.50. Yeah, if you guys want to trade NXTC, you're pretty much just buying into hype, which means the formation may not be there. There's no formation. There is literally nothing that you can go off of on NXTC. So if you want to play that game and take that risk, by all means, more than happy to do so. Completely up to you. I think it's a great idea if you really want to trade it. If you don't, I think it's also a great idea not to trade it. But again, it's just going to be a higher volatile stock. There's going to be more risk involved because the spread is going to be bigger. It doesn't have that much volume, so you're going to be trading on a stock that really doesn't have that much volume. So you can easily get dumped on. You can easily get squeezed on if you're shorting. So again, play at your own risk, but probably won't involve myself with it personally. Twitter today will break out. So yeah, Twitter we traded yesterday. Took a pretty big loss on Twitter yesterday. It was really a bad trade at the end of the day. But Twitter, yeah, I could see it bouncing up today. So the breakout for me is right around this 30 level. That's where I got long, and it kind of rolled over and dropped, which really wasn't surprising that it happened. So I'm taking a loss on a trade there. But we will still be watching Twitter long over the 30 mark. So until it gets back up to the 30 and it's starting to battle around 30, 36, that's where I would choose to be long on Twitter again, because that's where the momentum is truly going to shift. Right now, it's still a bearish sentiment until we can get over that 30 mark. VFF, sure, I'll take a look. Let's see, VFF. Really, there's no cup and handle pattern there yet. I mean, there's sort of a cup here. You're probably saying cup from here, handle there. I could see that. It's smaller, but I mean, yeah, you're running into a previous top. It's a light volume stock, so you have to swing trade it, not day trade it. Yeah, it's not a bad setup by any means. Just know that it is coming up to this previous top here, though, at about 870, 880, and it's the first attempt, so it may or may not break through on that. But yeah, that's a good looking formation. That's worth watching long bias for right now. Yes. Psychology is equally as important as price action. Yeah, they play two very big roles, right? Everybody, just when everybody first starts trading, they're always concerned about indicators and the RSI and this on your chart. And not that those aren't great tools and not that you can't learn from them and help them, but I can wholeheartedly tell you that 100% psychology and price action are 100% the most important over pretty much anything on your chart. RSI is just a simple tool, right? The only time RSI is a simple tool, and half the people that use RSI don't even know how to use it right. Okay, same thing with the MACD. Half the people that use MACD is pretty straightforward. I would say RSI, half the people, 75%, 80% of the people that use RSI don't even use it correctly. And anyways, so yeah, for most part, it's just price action, psychology. Those are going to be their two most important things. Moving averages, sure, those are okay. RSI, it's not going to make you or break you. MACD's not going to make you or break you. Psychology and price action will break you, though. So those are going to be your two most important things to learn. I know you know Netflix so well. Why not only trade it? Because Netflix doesn't always have the perfect setups or great-looking setups every single day, which can make it more of a challenge to trade. So that's why I don't always trade, because there are other setups around, right? Not every single day is it going to be perfect or great to trade, right? So when it's not great to trade, you want to find other opportunities. And when, right, even though Netflix can move maybe $8 a share on any given day, there might be a day where BABA is looking to break out, and the move on BABA will be far more fluent and respectable than will on Netflix, making BABA an easier trader on this day than would be Netflix. So pick and choose your battles correctly. If you have $100K, and that's the other thing. If you have $100,000 to trade with, we don't have that. Yes, you do. Your psychology in the market is so off. Don't let other YouTubers saying only trade penny stocks or become rich trading penny stocks, or you have to trade penny stocks because you don't have a lot of money. That is wrong. Your thinking is incorrect, and you're on a losing thinking mentality. Let me teach you winning mentality. Winning mentality is not about making a ton of money. Winning mentality is about learning how to trade and live and not die in the stock market. There are days when you probably should trade a penny stock, and there are days when you probably shouldn't. And then there are days when you should probably trade Netflix, or days when you probably shouldn't. Okay, if you have 10 shares and I have 1,000 shares and we both buy Netflix at whatever price and Netflix goes up $3 per share and we both sell, so we both buy and sell at the exact same time, we have both made the exact same trade and make the exact same amount of profit. Well, not profit, but gain. We have both gained the same amount. Monetary value may be different because you're trading with less capital and I'm trading with more, meaning I'm just taking more risk and you're taking less. But we have both made the same gain. And the bullish pennant that we just traded and the bullish pennant that you just traded are the same setup. Okay? You're just making less because you're investing less. But the trade is there. The learning is there. The move happened. You are successful. You have successfully day traded a stock for a gain or a profit. Whether how big or how small is irrelevant. How big or how small the win is only relevant to you. I don't care how much money you make. I don't. Whether it's $5 or $10. If you trade the same setup as I do, you're as equally successful as I am if we both win on the trade. You're now succeeding at trading. So again, the monetary money that you make is only relevant to you. Nobody else really gives two fucks how much money you make. That's only up to you. And you will be the most important determining factor between whether or not you are successful or you are unsuccessful. And more likely than not, that fine line between success and not unsuccessful will most likely be determined by your own personal self-greed, self-awareness, and trading from you. Not from me, not from somebody else. So when you think that because I have 100,000 and somebody else may have 5,000 that you can't trade the same stocks as me is complete bullshit. It's more or less you thinking that you're just not going to make money because you don't have a lot of money, so you're not going to trade this. So you're going to go somewhere where your little bit of money is going to give you X amount of leverage to the point where you can actually make something. And that is the losing mentality right there. That is where most people lose. They go from thinking they can't do something because of somebody else and somebody's money to where their money can do something to make more money, and boom, you're caught into the first initial cycle of losing in the stock market. Enough of that spiel. All right. Let's see. CVS did report earnings. You should follow that one. ENPH, I don't know what the pattern looks like right now, but I do believe that's so far they're pretty reputable. I mean, there's always been talks of them that they're somewhat of a successful biotech or a therapeutic company, and they should be getting bought out at some point in the future. So yeah, I think that's decent right now. It is below the 200 moving average. For right now, I wouldn't be bullish on it. I wouldn't, because we are below the 200 moving average, and we closed below the 200 moving average 2 times. First on a red day, then on a green day. So for right now, I'd be kind of on standby with ENPH and just kind of watching. Yes, whole numbers can react as support and resistance. You are correct. XRP. XRP is a cryptocurrency which you're not going to be able to view here on Thinkorswim, so can't really go over that on a chart, but we could discuss it a bit. But TLT shop. Hold on. So many questions and so little time, and the chat always gets weird and jumps around when I'm scrolling on it. Hey, Connor, a little confused how you can get back into Twitter after taking a loss. Won't you get a wash sale? How can you get back into that? Is just too far. We can't even go into that right now. PZZA, REZY. Can't go over those. Can you explain a little bit? Price action? Price action is simply the chart, the price of the stock going from $1 to $5. That is price action. The movement, the formation of price action on a chart is just price action. What do you mean psychology? What do I mean by psychology? I mean, like, what are other traders going to do in a situation like this? So if you know what everybody else is going to do, you can capitalize on what they're probably going to do. So it's kind of like playing the opposite, right? If, for example, always use, so if I know that everybody is shorting this stock at this current moment in time, and I know where they're most likely to exit if the stock goes against them, then I can try to buy shares where they're going to exit, which is going to cause a big price jump. Or if everybody is buying this stock and I want to short it, and I know where they're buying and I know where they're going to stop out and sell, then I know where there's going to be a big drop in the stock, meaning I could open up a short position where everybody's going to stop out, understanding the psychology in the market. What are other people most likely going to be doing? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 9:01. With that being said, everybody take care. Have a great rest of your day. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, first link's in the description. That's how you join our private group. There's a 20% off coupon. Other than that, everybody have a great day. And just remember, as always, Epstein did not kill himself. All right, guys, take care.